for this Sunday is from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 16, verses 1 to 13. Then Jesus said to the disciples, "There was a rich man who had a manager, and charges were brought to him that this man was squandering his property. So he summoned him and said to him, 'What is this I hear about you? Give me an accounting of your management, because you cannot be my manager any longer.' Then the manager said to himself, 'What will I do now that my master is taking the position away from me? I am not strong enough to dig, and I am ashamed to beg. I have decided what to do so that when I am dismissed as manager, people may welcome me into their homes.' So summoning his master's debtors one by one, he asked the first, 'How much do you owe my master?' He answered, 100 jugs of olive oil. He said to him, 'Take your bill, sit down quickly, and make it 50. Then he asked another, 'And how much do you owe?' He replied, 100 containers of wheat. He said to him, 'Take your bill and make it 80. And his master commended the dishonest manager because he had acted shrewdly. For the children of this age are more shrewd in dealing with their own generation than are the children of the light. And I tell you, make friends for yourselves by means of dishonest wealth, so that when it is gone, they may welcome you into the eternal homes. Whoever is faithful in a very little is faithful also in much, and whoever is dishonest in a very little is dishonest also in much. If then you have not been faithful with the dishonest wealth, who will entrust you to the true riches? And if you have not been faithful with what belongs to another, who will give you what is your own? No slave can serve two masters, for a slave will either hate the one and love the other, or be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and wealth." This is the gospel of the Lord. This is Pastor Marianne Kellenbach, the pastor at Living Faith Church here in Tradition, Florida. Now, these past few weeks, we've been looking at the various parables from the Gospel of Luke. And this week's parable is extremely complex and extremely confusing. This parable has sometimes been called the parable of the dishonest manager. And its focus, like many of the parables in the Gospel of Luke, is on money and our relationship with money. And here we have a dishonest manager who's about to be let go from his job. And this dishonest manager acts in a way that Jesus says is very shrewd. Now, he's not condoning the action of the dishonest manager, but what he's saying is this dishonest manager is being very clever. You see, money in the first century, as today in the 21st century, is extremely powerful in the culture. It is an extreme force in the culture. And what Jesus says is that we cannot serve money and serve God at the same time. As a matter of fact, they're in direct opposition to each other. But that doesn't mean that money cannot be used for mutual benefit and in relationship. So when money is used in a way such as that, it is for good. It's not evil in that particular case. And here we have a dishonest manager who goes around, and yes, he's doing it for himself, but yet at the same time, he's reducing debt so that the debtor, the reduction has been made. And so both are benefiting from this relationship with money being right there in the center. So the question that I want you to ask yourself is, what is your relationship to money? Is it something that you hold in high esteem, that you hold on to yourself, that you define yourself, and that you, in essence, worship? Is that where you're placing your faith, in your money? Or is your money being an instrument to be used in God's kingdom here today? Is your money being used to help others in this world? So where is your faith? Is your faith in God, whereas money is being used towards God's kingdom here on earth? Or is your faith in money? I want you to think about that this week.